pleading look in his eyes. "Couldn't you come and stay with us for a few weeks? I'm sure Andreis has a lot to think about right now. Wouldn't it be more peaceful for you and Lucas?" Mina knew that her parents worried about her. Things had gotten worse. It was impossible to hide the bruises. "Mom and we think about you all the time." They'd tried to get her to move in with them when Andreis was in jail, but she'd known he would have regarded it as a betrayal, and she would have paid the price when he came out. Her father's persistence was making her uncomfortable. She couldn't help looking over his shoulder at the street, but thank God it was still empty. "We'll talk about it some other time," she said. "Andreis is no good for you, you know that." He raised his voice, but Mina didn't have the strength to reassure him. All her energy went into protecting Lucas and herself. "Please, Dad, not now. I've got so much to do." Her father rubbed his forehead. New lines had appeared on his face over the past few years. She had to remind herself that he was only 55. His graying hair needed cutting. "Mom isn't well," he said reluctantly. Mina went cold all over. "What do you mean?" "There's a problem with her heart." "No, not Mom." The words came out as a reflex. Mom had to be there, always. Even if it was difficult, sometimes impossible to meet up, Mom was her last refuge. Mom and Dad were there for her, whatever happened. She could go home. "You probably haven't noticed, but she gets kind of breathless. It's gotten worse lately. She's been given a priority referral to the Southern District Hospital. She has an appointment next week." Mina wanted to cry. If only she could grab Lucas and go home to Skuru with her dad. There was nothing she'd rather do. But it was impossible. Why didn't he understand? "I'll call her soon," she promised, digging her nails into the palms of her hands to maintain her self-control. "Can't you come over and see her? She'd be so pleased if you brought Lucas. How about tomorrow or Wednesday?" The hope in her father's voice was just making things worse. She couldn't let him see how stressed out she was. Lucas would wake up any minute, and before that she had to get the potatoes in the oven and marinate the steaks. She hadn't even set the table yet. "I'll try," she said, even though she knew it wasn't going to happen. "Bye, Dad. Drive safely. I really must get on now." She kissed his cheek and closed the door. Lucas was whimpering quietly. Mina grabbed the detergent and a cloth and hurried toward the guest bathroom. With a bit of luck, Lucas would go back to sleep for a little while so that she could finish her chores. Chapter 2. Tomas poured meatballs into the frying pan. The best before date was the previous day, but he hadn't had time to go shopping. The pan hissed and spat, and he suppressed a curse as hot oil caught his hand. He'd had a crap day at work. The reorganization of the police force just wouldn't settle, causing one colleague after another to walk away. This afternoon, he'd found out that Kalle Lidval, one of the people he'd worked with the longest, had decided to leave the force in favor of a security firm. Their civilian assistant, Karin Eek, had also resigned when the investigative department in Nacka had been absorbed into the serious crimes unit in Flemingsberg. She'd said she just couldn't cope with the commute. Elin was sitting on the sofa watching TV, something with happy children jumping from a sunlit jetty into the water. Tomas tried to ignore the noise. He didn't need reminding that this would be Elin's first summer on the island of Hara without her mother. He opened the refrigerator and took out a can of low-alcohol beer. He needed to talk to Pernilla about the summer, how they were going to divide up the vacation and who would spend which weeks with Elin. He'd already sent several text messages with various suggestions, but she hadn't come back to him with a concrete answer, just vague indications that she'd think about it. His cell phone rang. The display showed Pernilla's number. "Hi, it's me." She sounded as if she had a cold. He knew her so well, and yet he didn't know her at all. He still didn't understand how they'd ended up in this situation. "I just wanted to say goodnight to Elin," she said. There was a brief pause.